Our internet isn't like the best in the world here, so hang with us. Let me share my screen. Here, let me move it. No, you're fine. There you go. Okay, so can you give me a thumbs up if you see my screen, just so I know? Yes, okay, perfect. Today we're going to talk about setting priorities and balancing your business. This is week 3 of the Diamond Mastery Invitational. I'm glad you all are here, and hopefully everyone else can listen to the recording. Let me end some other things here. Make sure everybody can see good. Can you guys hear me? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. So we're going to start first with setting your priorities. How do we do this? I think the best way to go about that is to sit down and talk to your spouse or whoever it is, if you're not married, whoever it is that speaks life into you, that like when you have a problem, you go to them and you know that they will give you a reputable opinion about what's going on in life. Whoever that person is that you talk to for the most important things and you get advice from, that's who you want to go talk to. Talk to them and think about your long-term goals, not just like what you want to do today or tomorrow or a month from now or even a year from now, but like long-term, where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years when you have kids or don't have kids? Where do you see yourself? What do you want it to look like, to feel like? We actually did an exercise on this today, so maybe we'll be sharing that with you guys soon. But I want to keep this call short because we're kind of short on time. What would you like your life to look like in 1, 5, and 10 years from now? Write it down. Write down specifics. Write down, where you see yourself, where you see yourself in your career or in coaching. Where you see yourself family-wise, financially, all of those things. Now ask yourself, how can I get there? It's not just about, imagining this life beyond, but it's about finding actionable steps that you can take to get there. And then setting your priorities based off of that. Get creative. Like sometimes, we were talking specifically about college yesterday morning, and it's become like standard in our society that you have to go to college, you have to get this degree after high school, and I don't necessarily fall into that category anymore. I did that. I went to high school, I got my degree, and now I'm like, well, now I'm paying off all this debt, and I'm not using my degree. So I'm not saying that it's not right for anyone. I'm just saying that sometimes we need to be creative and get to our goals and what's going to put us further ahead in the long term, not just the short term. This step of sitting down and talking to someone, and the reason why I think it's important to sit down and talk to someone is that you need that balance. You need somebody to bounce the ideas off of, that knows you intimately and personally, knows your history, knows your character, knows your values. You have to repeat this from time to time, because the beautiful thing is about coaching and in life is that life changes. Things happen, and we readjust our priorities. We readjust those things that are important to us. And then also, after you have your priorities, I would tell my team to pray about what God would have you do. Make sure that your priorities are lining up with His priorities for your life. Pray and make sure that you're in His will and that you're going the direction that He would have you go. So when I wrote this title, it made me laugh because I was like, discount, double check, discount, double check. So we're priority double checking here. List out your priorities. You've talked about them with your spouse. You've prayed about them at this point. Now list them all out on paper, one by one. What are all the activities, the events that you do, the clubs that you're involved with, the church events, the whatever you have going on in your life, list them all out. Like Mondays we do this, Tuesdays we do this, like all the way through. List them all out. And then list them in descending order based off of the priorities that you've already determined. So if you say family is more important than church activities, or if you say that coaching is more important than, well, hopefully not family, but maybe coaching is more important than family to you at this point, then make sure that your priorities are aligning with, or your activities are aligning with the priorities that you're saying. Make time for the things that are at the top of the list by scheduling them into your calendar first. So instead of going willy-nilly, Shalene Johnson's really big into talking about this, about how sometimes people come up and they're like, hey, you want to get together for lunch? And you're like, yeah, that sounds good. And they're like, how about Wednesday at whatever? And you're like, okay, sure, schedule it in. And then, church event, like, hey, we're having this. You don't want to miss it. Mark it on your calendar. Okay, great. And you just start marking your calendar, and then the weeks just start flying by, and you're not going anywhere to hit your goals. You're not going anywhere, or you're not doing anything to further yourself in really honoring your priorities. And so the way we do this is to say, yeah, let me see what we can do and we'll get back to you. And then making sure that you're scheduling out your time ahead of time and making sure that you're honoring your priorities. Create a power hour for your business and set business hours. I think that's something that I didn't do in the beginning. I can't speak for my success partners, but I personally didn't do this in the beginning. I was like, oh, it's easy. You just mash it in with everything else. And then I was always feeling guilty. I was feeling guilty if I didn't make a certain amount on my paycheck. Oh, gosh, sorry. Hold on. Vanessa just called in and I'm hearing an echo. You got it? Let me see if I can.
I got it.
Okay. I can't concentrate. Beach, people, echo. So what was I saying? I was guilty of this in the beginning. I would go in and start playing with my kids, and then I'm messaging people on my phone, and I was so excited because people were messaging me, and I was like, I have to get back to them right this second. Or, it's going to slip through my fingers. They're going to go to somebody else, or they're going to look for something else. But it wasn't the case. I put this unnecessary pressure on myself, and I always felt guilty. I felt guilty if I was just focusing on my kids, because I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be doing something, with my business, or I'm not going to hit my goals. And then I felt guilty when I was just focusing on my business, because I was like, am I really putting the kids first that I say that I'm doing this for? And so I think it's just really important that you set business hours, especially from the beginning. If you haven't done that, start today. It's not going to hurt you. Like, sit down with your spouse and set out time. It's something that we just recently did, even as a group, about setting aside time for specifically for our spouse. Setting aside time. We all had business hours, I think, already, but setting aside, those business hours. And so when we were focused on business, we were just focused on business, and that was okay. I struggled with that because, my husband went to the office and he had time to just focus on business, but I didn't have that time unless my kids were asleep. But then I'm like, am I cheating my spouse? And so setting that time, and like, if Josh saw it and he was okay with it, then he knew, like, this is Lisa's time. He already knows Thursdays are like off the books. That's like a thing now. Thursdays are off the books. Sunday nights are off the books. Those are just my work nights. Like, he knows that we're not going to do anything. And then Friday nights are completely off for work, because that is family and my spouse. Like, we do date nights that night, all of that stuff. So set your business hours. It's okay to like break things up in chunks and say, I'm going to do half an hour in the morning. Like, say you're a working mom, or you're working a full-time job. Break it up into chunks, half an hour in the morning, and then like, I'm going to do 15 minutes or 20 minutes at lunch, and then I'm going to set aside an hour a night on these nights. And it's okay to not work on the other nights. If you don't manage your time will manage you. It's kind of a quote that I adopted from Dave Ramsey. He always says, if you don't manage your money will manage you. But I think it's the same with time. It's a valuable commodity. You're never going to get it back. You can't make more of it. And so you have to manage it wisely, or it's just going to run amok, and you're going to lose all this time, and you're going to be like, where did it go? And why didn't I achieve the things that I wanted to? It'll be like grains of sand through your fingers. Okay, so now you have a team. All of you here should be, I think, at least Emerald. If not, you'll be close. You have these people that are underneath you. Hopefully you have a few business builders. They're looking to you for advice. Now what? What do you do? First and foremost, no matter what, 100% you do your 3 daily vitals and your power hour every day. Non-negotiable. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's 12 o'clock at night. Like, you get your ish done and you do it. Because you have to lead from the front. The speed of the leader, speed of the pack. I've seen several times now that like my coaches will recruit coaches and they'll recruit coaches, and like sometimes the new coaches are doing better than like some of the older ones, because the older ones, and I did the same thing, older ones feel this like need to like shift into management mode. And then, you know, their coaches are out running them. But the problem with that is it usually doesn't last for more than a month or two. And then everybody starts to crumble because they're looking at you and they're like, well, if she's not hitting Success Club, then why do I have to hit it? Like she, you know, hit such and such rank, or she's doing this. And so it'll be okay. And then nobody moves forward. So super important. Also, read personal development related to leadership skills that you know you need to develop. All of us have them. None of us, well, there are such things as born leaders, but it doesn't matter. We still all have skills and talents that we need to develop in that arena, whether it's communication or time management or any multiple of things. My hair's getting bigger as we go. So take time out to plan out in vision and goals for your team. Oh, I skipped one. Start to recognize your team and coaches for their achievements, just like your coach did for you. This helps move their business forward. It helps them to feel good. It gives them a boost of confidence. And then also their friends and family are seeing them for legit business owners and people that are helping other people. Like this is a real thing that they're talking about on their social media all the time. If it benefits them, it'll benefit you. It's a team. It's a cycle. Like we all benefit each other when we do these things. Take time out to plan vision and goals for your team. This is something that happens over time. I don't think you have to like sit down every week or anything like that. But like once every quarter or so, I like to, you know, set like certain goals for my team. I like to set trainings and sneak peeks, like set all that stuff up in advance because then it helps us all to kind of run smoother. Mentor your new coaches. I think that's like obvious. When they ask help, give it to them. If you don't know, it's okay. You can say, you know, let me ask Lisa, let me ask Vanessa, let me ask Becca, let Nate the Creeper. And at least we didn't have the unicorn mask on, guys. And then keep recruiting more coaches. I think this is like one of the most vital lessons that I learned, is that I switched into management mode and then I stopped recruiting. Like not intentionally, it just kind of happened. But I just kind of stopped the momentum of recruiting. Unfortunately, the statistics are that the 4 coaches that you have now, 8 coaches, 12 coaches, whatever you have right now, they're not going to be with you 6 months from now. Even your business builders, you don't know how fast they're going to go or how their priorities are going to change in life. Like these things happen. So continue to recruit, continue to grow. And as you do that, your team will do that. See, speed of the leader, speed of the pack. It's a train, guys. All the wheels got to move at the same motion. Okay, so balancing your business. This one's small, but I'm going to run through it really fast. Your number one priority is your business always. Doesn't matter. It's not your husband's account. It's not your sister's account. It's not your top coach, whatever's account in their business and what is going on in their life. Your number one priority is your business. Again, the issue that I had, like I stopped focusing on my challengers and recruiting those. And then like, I don't know, just everything kind of fell apart because I was too worried about like managing and helping mentor and all of that. And it's not about that. It's about you running your business, same as you have since day one. It's easy to take a look at your team and think you need to make this shift from leading your team to mentoring them. It's common, but remember, lead from the front. What you do and prioritize, your team will. Remember that like attracts like. So if you stop and shift into management mode, they're likely to, when they get to that point, stop and shift into management mode, just because they're doing what you modeled for them. So the 8 to 12 coaches that you have now, or when you become a diamond coach, will likely not be the team that you will get your long-term rank, leadership ladder status, or income goals that you have set. You must continually share, reach out, invite, run, or join sneak peek groups, however your team does them, and be recruiting. Discount coaches fall off on an average of 3 months. I have some that have been around for about a little over a year now, but it's not the norm. I've also had some that signed up as discount coaches and in like a month we're done. So you can't build your business off of them. I feel like it's a great bonus for them and it's a good boost to your team volume if you have them around, but I don't count them on them for my rank. Business builders fall away as well. They need to see, we were talking about this yesterday, I think, that they, in the first 3 months, that's the big like turning point for most business builders. if they don't see some kind of progress, or that they're doing something right, that they're selling something, that like if they're not reaching one of their goals going into coaching in the first 3 months, a lot of them will fall away. They're just going to get to this point where they're like, okay, this isn't for me. It's too hard. I can't do it. And they're going to fall away. So remember to be mentoring and helping them through it after you get your business stuff done. Have mercy. Okay. Emerald and Diamond coaches also, unfortunately, lose rank. They get discouraged and quit. We all fall out of rank. I don't know. I definitely have. Have you? Yep. You? Yep. You? No? Sarah's special. It's coming. No. But we've all fallen in and out of rank before. Like, it happens. But it's okay. Like, it's happened to the best of the best. It happened to Lindsay. It happened to Bonnie. It happened to Katie Hefner. Like, it's happened to Brittany. Like, it's happened to everybody. We've all fallen in and out of rank. It's normal. The thing is to help them to see past it. Like, put a priority on personal development for themselves so that they don't lose and quit. But again, the whole recruiting constantly, so if they do quit, it's not the end of the world thing. It's the way to go. It's okay to be content, but it's never okay to be complacent. Content doesn't mean like that you're not moving forward. Content means like joy and peace in the moment where you're at. I think not Becca the creeper. Not having that bitterness or competition with others, where you're constantly comparing yourself. That's huge. But don't be complacent. Like, never get stuck and get stagnant and stale. If you do, throw yourself, turn the computer off for a day. It's okay. Turn the computer off, throw yourself into personal development, because if you get complacent, your team's going to follow suit, and you're going to lose a ton of momentum, and not just have to like go forward, but like dig back into it. It's way, way harder. Okay, so your action items for the week. I want you to sit with your spouse or whoever that other person is, and then come up with your list of priorities. If you want to share it, that'd be awesome. Then set your power hour schedule and post in our group chat. Make sure you're specific. I want to hear it. If it's not specific, I'm going to be like, but what about this? I want to hear. I want to know exactly what your power hour is, and then what hours you've set to do those. If you want to break it up, that's perfectly fine. Then find one leadership-based book that you would like to start reading to develop those mentorship skills. You don't have to necessarily start reading it this week, but I want you to find it and get it on its way. I know Vanessa had a really good book that she was talking about. Do you want to share?
Yeah. Okay. So, my favorite leadership books are Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey. Also, John Maxwell has he's got a million leadership books, but my 3 favorites are 21 Laws of Leadership, Developing the Leader Within, and Developing the Leaders Around You. And that's the one I'm reading right now. And it's super interesting because it really has to do with how to mentor those around you, how to identify them, how to identify their strengths. It's it's something that I know I'm weak in, because you can just get in your own tunnel vision of running things and moving forward, but it really helps to know what questions to ask people, how to just draw out of them where they're at and identify those leadership qualities and then nurture them, get them. I mean, that's what we do as coaches. We find people, we encourage them, we nurture them, we help them grow into the leaders that they want to be. And of course, as I'm reading it to develop other leaders, there's so much I can take for myself too. So I'm really enjoying that book a lot.
I don't know if this is a unique opportunity since we're all here kind of at one time. I didn't know if any of you guys wanted to share something as well on priorities, anything like that. Jess? Yes? No?
Sure.
Okay. Let me scoot the guys over. There's a million wires. It's okay. There we go.
Hi guys. So one of the things that we've learned this weekend that I think is really important and something I plan to implement more in my own life is not just focusing on the things that you're bad at, but also focusing on your strengths and spending more time playing to your strengths, because it's what you're good at and it's what's going to make you feel good and what's going to make you feel confident. So everyone needs to work on their weaknesses, but don't forget about your strengths. Don't forget to spend extra time working on personal development that builds up your strengths even more.
I love that. Can you share the parachute story really fast?
Oh yeah. So the first time that I went skydiving, I did a static line jump, and that's where they attach a line from your chute to the plane. So when you jump, it automatically pulls your chute for you, so you don't just plummet to your death. And we went through all this training because once the chute opens, you have to hold those toggles, and you have to direct yourself where you're going to go. And they give you a headset so someone could talk to you, but they keep telling you, don't look at the trees. Don't look at the trees. The trees are not where you want to go. So in coaching, that's like, don't say, well, I'm not going to hit Success Club, or I don't have these business builders. Don't think about that. You want to look where you want to go, because if you're looking at the trees, your body is naturally going to turn towards those trees. So when we were up in the air and we pulled our chute, what did everybody start doing? We all started looking at the trees. And then this little voice in our ear was like, stop looking at the trees. Look at where you need to go. Look at your landing spot. So focus on where you want to go. Keep that in your path and play your strengths towards working on that path.
That's good. Did you have anything that you wanted to share? No? Okay. Sarah?
And I just wanted to remind everyone that you need to believe that you are a leader, because you are. You're a coach, and you're already empowering people, you're inspiring people, and your team is not going to believe in your leadership unless you first believe in your leadership. So first and foremost, it doesn't matter how many coaches you have, how long you've been doing the business, you need to believe that you're going to go places and you're going to go towards your goals and you're going to get whatever you want to achieve. But you need to believe that first so that you can help other people believe in that and rise together.
That's Becca's whole, what is it, rising water raises all ships thing. Becca, did you want to say anything to our top leaders of our team?
What have you been talking about?
We talked about priorities and balancing our business.
Priorities and balancing your business.
Oh, I'm
I just totally gave her last second.
Hi, everybody. So I know that this is a group for, up and coming leaders who have some big goals. So I would just say, and I know you have incredible leaders that are leading you, but if you haven't already, sit down and really dream about what you want 2016 to be. I heard Jess talking about her story about parachuting and not looking at the trees unless you want to go there. So if you can come up with this vision for 2016 where you know where you want to go and you can look to that instead of looking at, oh, well, I don't have enough coaches for this, or I don't have enough business builders, or I don't attract people who stick. If you look toward the vision of what you want to go, if you say, next year, I want to be a career coach. Next year, I want to be a team leader. Next year, I want to be a Star Diamond. And then you can keep your eyes on that instead of the distractions that are going to come, because it's going to happen. Like, you're going to have great months and you're going to have shitty months, and it's just par for the course. And if you don't have that clear vision, it becomes very easy to forget what you're doing and where you're going, and to get caught up in the muck of the everyday drudgery and the everyday struggles. So spend some time this is the holiday season. This is a time of so much excitement, so much gratefulness, so much giving. And you can really dream about, where do I want to be at this time next year? Like, how do I want my holiday season to be at this time next year? And then what can I do now? And starting out 2016, what's my game plan to help get me there? So hopefully that helps. Is that good?
Thank you. Yeah, so good. Thank you. Okay, guys, if Diamond Retreat needs to be on your radar for sure. This has been so much fun, and we're about to go do a little shoot with our team. So we love you all. We'll see you in the group chat. See you. Bye. Jessica.
Bye.
Okay. Oi.
Stop share. Are you guys wearing shoes out there?
I